on, Raider Nation. Welcome to the Silver and Black Lair. I'm your host, the Bat Fry, Kenny Fry. I hope everybody's doing well. Terrific week one win for the Raiders. Awesome. And I got one thing to say. Happy Batman Day. There we go. That's why I'm wearing the mask. So if I feel like it's a little crooked, so it's bothering the shit out of me, but yeah, well, whatever. It is what it is. I'm probably going to take it off. It's bothering me. Anyway, great week one win against the Denver Donkeys. Beautiful. I've said this multiple times. I don't really mean it because I want the Raiders to win every game. But I would be all right if the Raiders won 2-15 as long as both those wins were against those douchebags from Denver. I can't stand them. I got a couple comments here to start the show off. We'll hit them out here. There he is, Paul Spencer, the guy that puts all this stuff together, all these overlays, the opening credits, the opening music, the ending credits, all that stuff. Puts in a lot of time to this. He is out of the box sports entertainment. You know, we're a family. We all do it together, but he is the conductor. He is the guy that drives the train. How you doing, buddy? Go Irish. There he is. Cowboy Dave, the showstopper. What's going on, buddy? Hope you're doing well. Bummed we couldn't do the wrestling show last night, especially with The Rock making his return. Man, what a bummer. Hope you're doing well, buddy. The Cowboys had a pretty good week one, right? But, Paul and Dave do the Dem 215 boys on Wednesday nights at 9:30 p.m. talking Dallas Cowboy football. Also, Paul does the College Football Frenzy right before that at 8:05 p.m. on Wednesdays. And Cowboy Dave does extra innings on Tuesdays at 8:30 p.m. talking Major League Baseball with Joe Sullivan. And like I just mentioned before, Dem 215 boys with Paul Spencer talking Dallas Cowboy football. So, the Cowboys had a really good week one. So, congrats to your team and their kick-ass week one. And, everybody else, whose team came out on top or at least had a good showing. Sometimes you don't expect your team to win, but they go out there and they play well. And it's almost like a moral victory, kind of. Everybody wants their team to win every week until they're out of the playoffs, and you want them to lose every week so they get a top draft pick. But it says sometimes that stuff's out of your hands. All right, we're going to go ahead and start the show off with the Raiders beating the Donkeys. It was a good game. It was a hard-fought game. Almost kind of went the way you thought it was going to go. Very close, very tight. Decent defense, not bad. The score 17-16. You take it. Not a high scoring. It was an efficient game. Efficient, for Jimmy G. Going 20 of 26, 200 yards, 2 touchdowns. That one interception really hurt us. I mean, when he threw that interception in the end zone, my first thought is Derek Carr. I mean, I love Derek Carr. But we've seen that a lot with Derek, either where you throw an interception in the end zone or we end up kicking a field goal. So much of that is, extremely frustrating. But yeah, he led a nice drive down to start the game. Everything looked well there, hitting Jacoby Myers for a touchdown. It was kind of Jimmy G had to come out of the game during the first drive. I mean, every single Raider fan said, here we go. As soon as Jimmy G came out, they actually had to pull him out. The referees did because they said he was kind of woozy or wobbly after he got up from being hit the play before, and they made him go to the sideline. But every Raider fan just said, here we go. It already starts because, the thing coming in for Jimmy, every Raider fan said, he's, paper mache. He's a wet paper bag. He's made of glass. He just, bound to get hurt sooner or later and drive week one. This is all before the whole Aaron Rodgers thing happened. But if that thing happened before the Raiders game, that would have been your first thought. It's like, oh, here we go, another Aaron Rodgers situation. First drive, first couple plays, and he's out. But Jimmy G went to the tent, was able to come back out and finish that drive off. So that was awesome. Just seeing Brian Hoyer go in just made my stomach turn and gurgle. I couldn't stand it. It drove me nuts. With Aiden O'Connell being inactive last week. A couple of comments again. We'll hit up. Paul Spencer says, great way to open the season by beating a division rival. Oh, yeah, the Jackasses, the Donkeys. And the same thing with the Cowboys, beating their division rival, the Giants. It's not beating them 40-0 is more than a beating. That's an ass whooping. Dave Yarnell says, the one show we didn't do with both Cena and The Rock on the show. Unbelievable. On another note, how was Hershey Park? Hershey Park was great. Last night, the family and I hit up Hershey Park. It was the first night for their Halloween. It was awesome. I don't think I was ever there for their Halloween events or whatever. But, it was just neat, seeing the rides, fix that screen there. Seeing the rides at dark and stuff like that. We didn't do the haunted houses attractions yet. I think we're going to plan on going to Hershey one more time before the Halloween stuff is over, at least one more time. And but we didn't do any of the haunted houses with the little guy. He's 5 years old. A little bit nervous around the dark yet. So, but next time, I'll let the girls. We'll have to go in. Maybe I'll go in or my wife, Mrs. Batfry, will have to go in with them, and while the other stays out with the little guy. So. Or we'll alternate. It's making. You got to work together. The teamwork makes the dream work, baby. So back to Jimmy G. Like I said, overall the whole game, pretty efficient. Like after that one mistake, he knew he made a mistake. It's just one of those things. He tried forcing a ball instead of either running for it or just getting rid of it and taking the 3 points. You know what I mean? That's one thing that we are very used to in Raiderland is. Going on a drive and then coming up short and kicking a field goal. We've had some terrific field goal kickers. Been very lucky the last, Jesus Christ, 20, 25 years, from Seabass, to Carlson now and everybody in between. I think, who was in between? I think there was somebody before Carlson for a year or two, but I can't remember who it was. But Carlson's, terrific. Daniel Carlson's just awesome. Very good field. We've been very fortunate. With kicker and punter, we've been very fortunate with that. For a long time. If there's anything you can say the Raiders have been good at since their Super Bowl appearance back in 2003, you would have to say the field goal kicking and the punting has been really, really good since then. So, and there hasn't been a lot of guys. It's been pretty consistent as to who they were through all that time. Shane Leckler at punting for the longest time with Seabass and stuff. So, and we didn't see it. We didn't have to see the punter too much on Sunday. I think there was only one or two punts. That was it. So it's pretty good. Nice drives. Not a whole lot of points, but you take it. Long drives. The one thing, if you look at the team stats between these two teams, everything was so even this past week. It really could have gone other ways. So, you couldn't say this team had the upper hand, this team had the upper hand. They both almost had the same amount of plays. They both almost had the same amount of time of possession is really close. Both had exactly the same first downs. Passing, I think Denver had the edge in passing, but the Raiders might have had the edge in rushing. Total yards are very close. So it's everything a fairly clean game. Not many turnovers, like just that one turnover, I believe. I don't think the Raiders got any turnovers. I know Russ didn't throw any interceptions. I don't remember if there was any fumbles or not. Josh Jacobs came out and he had pretty much a full workload, 18 carries. Or no, it wasn't 19 carries, I think. I have it written down here. Gotta find it. 19 carries, 48 yards, and he also had 2 catches for 23 yards. So he had 21 touches. That's pretty much a full workload. Not quite as full as last year. He wasn't getting a lot of yards. There was a lot of grinding out yards, 2.5 yards per carry. Every once in a while, he'd break one off for like 6 or 7 yards, but then after that, it's like one. So it was a tough game. It was a hard-fought game. You knew Denver's defense was going to be up to the task. Devontae Adams, 6 catches for 66 yards. Jacoby Myers, 9 catches, 81 yards, 2 touchdowns. Left the game there at the end after getting just absolutely drilled coming across the middle and making the catch still. He just got lit up. I don't know if the defender could have pulled up or not, but Jacoby Myers is coming across, slides down to make the catch. As he's sliding down, making the catch, the guy kind of lowers his shoulder, hits Jacoby Myers up high. So it is the penalty by rule, but there's not a whole lot. I mean, I guess he could have just touched him down as he's going by instead of lowering the shoulder to make sure he was down, but it was a rough shot. It definitely was a penalty. There was no arguing that. And the one surprise was no Hunter Renfrow. He was only out there for a few snaps, no catches. I don't think they even threw his way at all. So that was a huge bummer and a head scratcher. I'm not sure why. It seemed like he had a pretty good camp. There you go. Good for you, Dave. I picked him to win on FanDuel. I won a couple bucks on him there, so I'll take that. Won a couple bucks on the Saints as well. Derek Carr having a decent game for the Saints. I mean, it was a typical Derek Carr game for the Saints. The same thing you do for the Raiders: 300 yards passing, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, lots of field goals. 1916 win. So, or was it 1916 or 1917 or no, 1615, I believe it was. I think it was 1615 Saints win. So, Zamir White, another surprise. 1 carry for 2 yards, 1 catch for 5 yards. Total bummer there. I thought we'd see more Zamir White. The offensive line played well. They kept Jimmy upright for the most part. There's quite a few times Jimmy dropped back. He had plenty of time. The feeder going, taking his reads, and a toss. He even ran the ball a couple of times, very smartly. One thing we screamed about last year for Derek Carr to do is run a damn ball instead of forcing it in there, run, slide or something. But DC was always trying to get the ball downfield. That's not something Jimmy G does. Jimmy doesn't push the ball downfield. He's a lot of intermediate to short passes, stuff like that. So you're not going to see a whole lot of chances taken by Jimmy G. You're going to see a lot of guys with high completions and low yards. You wouldn't be surprised to see a guy like 8 catches for 40 yards. That wouldn't be a surprise at all. So tight ends weren't used all that much. Austin Hooper, the only tight end with a catch. 1 catch for 20 yards. I thought we'd see a little bit of Michael Mayer, catching the ball. He was out there a good bit. I did see him, but it was mostly for blocking and maybe decoy type stuff or whatever. Adam Glenn checking in. Adam, you are 12 minutes and 50 seconds late, buddy. So you were nowhere near the first one. Paul Spencer beat you. Paul Spencer took your crown from atop your little head and placed it firmly on his noggin. So, Adam, you're going to have to fight for that crown back, buddy. College football's on right now, so, hey, I get it. Nobody's on the show. You're watching college football. Come back and watch the show again later. But like I said, the offensive line did a pretty decent job with the pass blocking. Like the run game, not all that great, but Denver's defense is a pretty good defense. You have to give credit where credit's due, as much as I hate the Donkeys. Dave Yarnell said, "Did you go to my favorite ride, the Super Duper Looper? I love that ride." I didn't get on any rides. I'm too fat currently to get on any roller coaster rides. I did get on like a couple of the whip and stuff like that. But currently I am obese, morbidly obese, too obese to get on any rides, which is unfortunate, but I know what I got to do. So the Batman needs not to be the fat man, needs to be more Batman than fat man. That's where we're at. So the kids did do the Super Duper Looper, I believe it is, where it goes up in the loops, then it goes in reverse. The girls did that. They had a lot of fun with that. They also did the one where I'm not sure what it's called, where it shoots you off like a rocket in the beginning. I don't know what the hell it's called. It's right next to I don't even think it's called Super Duper Looper anymore. It's Jolly Rancher something or rather. But unless I'm thinking of a totally different ride, I don't know. So what else from this past game? Defensive-wise, they did all right. Like I said, bend but don't break. Giving up 16 points. Russ, he was pretty efficient, which was, driving me absolutely insane. Lots of completions for Russ. 27 of 34 for 177 yards, 2 touchdowns. So they gave up a lot of those completions, but a lot of that stuff they kept in front. They made the tackles. They kept everything kind of short. Overall, the Raiders gave up 22. There was 22 carries, 94 yards rushing. That was between Javonte Williams had the bulk of it. He had 40-plus yards rushing. Samaje Perine, he had I think 40 yards rushing as well on fewer carries. But yeah, the two they got to watch the rush. The middle of the defense has always been an issue for the Raiders. Jerry Tillery and Bilal Nichols. They did all right rushing the passer, getting a rush, getting some pressure up the middle. But run-wise, up the middle, they're easily getting 4 or 5 yards each time. And that's something like Divine Diablo or Luke Masterson, Robert Spillane, whoever the linebackers are in that area at that time, really need to shut down. And it's always been an issue for the Raiders for the longest time. Adam says, I didn't know what time the show started. It started when it started, Adam. 1:30 p.m. Tonight, I won't be on, obviously, because I'm doing it now. But we're heading to a concert, Billy Idol and Shinedown out there in Camden. So we're heading to the hood to watch a little bit of rock music. Billy freaking Idol. It's the MMRQ something bash or something. MMRBBQ something. I don't know what the hell it is. But there's a whole lot of other bands there, but we're not going for all those other bands. We're going for mostly Shinedown, but I'm curious to see what Billy Idol brings to the table at 110 years old. And the mayor of Las Vegas, Rob, checking in. What's up, Rob? He said, what's up, Bat Fry? Beautiful day here in Vegas. 85 today. Going to Fremont Street tonight to have dinner. Go Raiders. Beat those Bills. Hashtag just win, baby. What are you going to eat for dinner there, Vegas, Rob? Probably some sort of meat. That's what I would eat anyway. All right, so back to the defense. Pass defense, like I said, a lot of completions, but again, they did a pretty good job tackling, keeping stuff in front of them. But there's too much cushion at times. I was watching, I don't know who it was. Really having a hard time with the numbers being the way they are, with guys being 0. That's Jacorian Bennett to 6 to single digits. It's really weird for me. Still not used to it. But sometimes they just give way too much cushion. Drives me nuts. One guy would be up on the receiver, and then the other guy, whether it be Marcus Peters or somebody, would give a huge cushion, and there'd be a quick throw, 7-8 yards right there. It's like come on, man. Get up there, play physical defense, play press man or something. That's just me. I don't know if that's something they actually do or not. What else do we got here? Max Crosby looked fantastic. Lots of pressure. The dude is just insane. He plays almost every snap. The motor's going all the time. If it's pressures, he's running by, giving Russ a slap on the shoulder, letting him say, hey, I was only a tick away. Had a sack, just constantly being disruptive. But then if you look on the flip side, I know I probably, if you're a Raider fan, you've probably seen this clip with I don't know who it was breaking down the game. I can't think of it right now. But I showed a clip of Tyree Wilson. There was no Chandler Jones. He was out last week. So yeah, Tyree Wilson, the rookie there, the Raiders have high hopes for. Didn't play the whole preseason due to injury or coming back from an injury. But he's activated, he's ready to go. And there was the one play where the ball is snapped. You have Max Crosby already halfway across the line. The other two guys already taken their first step, but he's still in his goddamn stance. The tackle across from him, he's already set up for the pass protect. He's out of his stance and set up, and Tyree Wilson is still in his stance. It's like, what the hell is he doing? The dude, I get it. He had no preseason because he was hurt. Then don't put him in there. Find somebody else to go in there. Don't put him in. He's not ready. Hopefully he turns it around this week. You just can't have it. Like, he was a non-factor. He was an absolute non-factor last week. I know there was, I think he had a tackle or two. He was around a couple of plays, but has to do better. If Chandler Jones is going to be out for a while, has to do better. Jacorian Bennett did okay. He had some tackles. He did play quite a bit. I think he had 7 or 8 tackles. So he did all right. Again, with the secondary, I'd like to see them play tight, a little bit tighter, make some plays in the ball, be a little bit more aggressive with it. I'd rather see somebody be aggressive and get beat deep than somebody just giving all that cushion. Depending on situation as well, but to give it all that cushion, just continuously give up first down after first down after first down, and then eventually either touchdown or 3 points. Linebackers, I didn't think they did all that well. Like I said, I was really disappointed in the linebackers. I thought they could have did much better. Spillane, Luke Masterson, and Divine Diablo. I know they're not they're probably the biggest weakness on our defense is our linebackers. Probably that's my feeling on it. I haven't really seen that in any kind of article or breakdowns or anything like that. But I do feel like our biggest weak point, like in the middle of our defense, our tackles, Jerry Tillery and Bilal Nichols are two guys that are more of your get up field kind of defensive tackles. They're not your prototypical get in the middle, clog up the middle type of defensive tackles, which we absolutely need. We need the kid from Alabama, Byron. I don't remember I can't think of his last name right now, but he was out last week as well. But we need guys, big body guys like that to clog up the middle. It's just not happening with Bilal Nichols and Jerry Tillery. But the linebackers need to step up and do better as well. So anyway, I'm going to move ahead to do something new here. The player of the game for last week. I said each week I'm going to do something. I'm doing something different than I normally do on all my other shows. I'm going to do Jay Feinlaw's defensive player to watch for the upcoming game. Dugout Mug's offensive player to watch for the upcoming game. The Out of the Box Sports Entertainment rookie to watch for the upcoming game. And then I'll be doing the Monkey Colt Coffee player of the game. So we got our Monkey Colt Coffee overlay here, thanks to Paul Spencer. And so our Monkey Colt Coffee player of the game is Jacoby Myers. He did a fantastic job. Like I mentioned already a couple times, I was really pleased with his production. I was kind of surprised by it. I wasn't really expecting it. I was expecting more Devontae Adams and more Hunter Renfrow and a little bit less Jacoby Myers, but I'll take that 100 times out of 100. Nine catches, 81 yards, 2 touchdowns, some really big catches. Like I mentioned, I think it was the final drive where he got hurt, where there's 5 minutes to go. The Raiders' offense went on that awesome drive to kill the rest of the game out, which is something you don't see the Raiders do at all. Like the Raiders are just cannot do it. Usually what happens when they run the 5-minute drill, they're 3 and out. The other team gets the ball back. They go down and score. Then the Raiders have the ball with like a minute and a half, 2 minutes left. They push it down a little bit and then end up turning it over, and that's the ball game. That's normally what happens. That's what we're used to as Raider fans. But it was a pleasant surprise to see the Raiders go on that long march, that long drive, 5 minutes to kill it, and Jacoby Myers, risking life and limb, his health, going across the middle and taking that big shot, getting his ass knocked out. But he got the player of the game from the Silver and Black Lair, Monkey Colt Coffee player of the game. Make sure you go to monkeycoltcoffee.com and check out their Sumatran blend. That's their newest flavor. The toasted coconut rum blend, as well as the bourbon chocolate chip infused coffee, T-shirts, coffee mugs, tumblers, the cold brew pitcher, K-cup adapters, the rum cake, all that stuff at the monkeycoltcoffee.com. And remember at checkout, use that promo code OOTBS Sports. That's OOTBS Sports for the promo code. But yeah, congratulations, Jacoby Myers. Yeah, a great way to start off your Raider career, your Raider run, maybe you want to call it. I don't know what the hell to call it. But unfortunately, he's going to be out this week due to that concussion. He didn't practice all week. I don't think he cleared concussion protocol yet. But as of right now, he is out for tomorrow. So that's a huge bummer. But that is what it is. So before I move on to the Bills, I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of our sponsor reads here. I just did a Monkey Colt Coffee, which went pretty well. So we'll go ahead and we'll do the OG, Jay Feinlaw, Jason Fine. You can check Jay Feinlaw out. Give him a call at 1-800-HURT-123. That's 1-800-HURT-123. Apparently, I think Jacoby Myers is probably calling Jay Feinlaw or has called him already for a little bit of workman's comp or personal injury claim. But they also specialize in motor vehicle accidents and slip and falls. They have 3 convenient offices located throughout Pennsylvania and New Jersey. So the Raiders actually practiced in West Virginia this past week. So, they're fairly close to the Pittsburgh office, which is located at 500 Grand Street, Suite 2900 in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And the number there is 412-365-8151. So hopefully Jacoby gave him a call there in Pittsburgh. Just a hop, skip, and a jump. Actually, with the concussion, he probably couldn't fly anyway. But they also have an office located in Cherry Hill, New Jersey at 3 Greensward Lane, Cherry Hill, 856-209-5258. And then in the city of brotherly love, where apparently they're becoming soft. Apparently if you've watched the Batcave yesterday, you know that the Phillies were congratulating the Braves on their big board there at the Citizen Bank ballpark. So that's kind of a surprise to me. So apparently they're very soft now in Philly. They're not hardened criminal fans anymore. They're a bunch of softies. From a standing ovation for their player that's not doing well to this. So they're located at 1628 JFK Boulevard, Suite 2120. The phone number there is 267-888-2980. That's Jason Fine, attorney Big Al. Tell him the Bat Fry sent you. And we got the Dugout Mugs. He'll be like, who the hell's the Bat Fry? What do these people keep saying Bat Fry? What the hell is that? These people are insane. So we got Dugout Mugs, our newest sponsor, the ultimate game day mug. Go to dugoutmugs.com and get your mug. Like I say every show, I love my Dugout Mugs. I have different varieties and different stuff on my Dugout Mugs that I own personally. So go to dugoutmugs.com. Use that promo code OOTBSports20 for your 20% off. That's OOTBSports20 for a 20% discount at checkout. Like I said, find your team or get one with your own logo, company's logo, your name on it. If you're getting married or there's a birthday, if you want to inscribe it or something like that, they do all that sorts of stuff there. All sorts of things. They have different varieties, different looks that are Dugout Mugs, as well as shortstop mugs, which are a little bit shorter than your typical Dugout mug. A knob shot, which is a shot glass, which is from the bottom of the bat. Aluminum bat mugs. You can put hot stuff, cold stuff, anything you want in these Dugout mugs. They're really cool. Really cool gift. Really neat stuff. Even if you're just like you have a man cave or whatever, I've seen people use them as like a decoration. But here we got the wooden one, my Mets one. This is see, it's as big as my head. And then the aluminum bat one I've shown. See, as big as my head. That's how I measure stuff. I use my head. There we go. We'll have a couple comments here before I move on. Vegas Rob says prime rib or ribeye. He's going to be eating tonight out there in the Sin City. Adam Glenn, happy Batman Day, fat man. Oh, you're going to get a drop kick, man. Vegas Rob says he's going to eat like a fat ass tonight. Sounds like a good deal. Adam Glenn says he picked the Bills in the survivor pool. I hope you lose, Adam Glenn. I hope the Raiders beat the Bills by 30 and you cry. I hope there's tears, the real tears that come down your eyes. Dave Yarnell says Jimmy G had a decent game, thrown for 200 yards and a touch, and he had 2 touchdowns actually. But yeah, Jimmy G had a good game. It's the type of game that I'd like to see Jimmy G have if we're running the ball better. So if we get that running game going with Josh Jacobs still kicking the rust off, Jimmy G, very efficient, 20 of 26, 200 yards, 2 touchdowns. The 1 pick hurts, but yeah, I'll take that every week from Jimmy G. If you look at Derek Carr's stats for the Saints, that was his typical stats for the Raiders. It would be 300 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. So that was a typical Derek Carr type game. And but luckily, good for them. Congratulations to them that the Saints won. Vegas Rob says Myers had a great day offensively. Yeah, he absolutely did. Jimmy G had a solid day in silver and black debut. Yep. So I like to thank Adam Glenn for sending Jimmy G our way. So far, so good. Thank you, Adam Glenn. Even though you're a dickhead, I'm playing with that. We're just teasing each other. We're just joking around. Anybody that thinks that I'm being ignorant to Adam or he's being ignorant to me, we're just playing. It's a playful banter back and forth. It's this thing we got going. Rob says hopefully Jacobs knocks the rust off this week. He needs to have a good day against this Bills team. Absolutely. So now we're going to move on to the Buffalo Bills. and we'll talk keys to victory as I get my notes here. I take notes all the time because I can't remember shit. That's who I am, and it is what it is. So offensively, it keeps me going as well. So offensively for the Raiders to in my opinion, to beat the Bills, more Jimmy G efficient passing. It doesn't have to have huge yards. You take those dinks and dunks to mid-range, shallow, take them all day as long as they're getting positive yardage, leading to first downs. Remember, you only need 3.5 yards, the first 3 downs to get that first down. So continue with that, get the ball back, get it out quick. No need to get yourself killed. Like I said, the offensive line I thought did pretty well last week. But as we've seen last year, it was a week-to-week type of thing for the offensive line. There was some consistency at some points of the season, but there was like a game good, a game bad, game good, game bad. So, so more Jimmy G efficient passing. We need to run the ball better. We need Josh Jacobs to like Vegas Rob said to kick that rust off this week. And then there's something we talked about last week. With Josh Jacobs missing the whole preseason. What happens is, the first couple of weeks are your preseason then. So you're knocking rust off. You're not ready for it yet. You could practice all you want, running around, running into pads, stuff like that, watching film. It's not the same thing as really being hit. So hopefully it's all knocked off. It's ready. He's ready to go. He's ready to rock. If not, let's see some more Zamir White, please. Please, for the love of God, give Zeus the ball. Please. I mean, I just don't understand it. Why you can't. If Josh Jacobs isn't cutting it, if he's 19 carries and 40-some yards, only getting 2.5 yards to carry again, let Zamir White carry the ball, 5 to 10 times. See what you can get as long as the game's close enough. I mean, if we're down by 20 points, don't do that. Let's get the ball in the basket here. But yeah, we have to be able to run the ball, especially up the middle between the tackles. Those big guards that we have, and behind Andre James up the middle. And I think that's where Josh Jacobs does a lot of good things up the middle because he can make those linebackers miss, get to that second level, and really do his dirty work up there. So we've seen it a lot last year where that stuff would be between the tackles. He'd get upfield, he'd make a move or two, and he's gone. So a lot more of that would be awesome. I'd take that. That's some nice between the tackles type running would be awesome. Cowboy Dave says, yep, no, it's no big deal, Dave. It's just, you don't have to even say anything. No, I'm sure nobody caught it. Adam Glenn says, the first key is pray that Josh Allen gets hurt. He didn't have all that great of a game last weekend. Now, granted, the Raiders defense is not the Jets defense. So before we say, Josh Allen was it 3 or 4 interceptions, or I think it was 3 interceptions plus a fumble. It's not the same defense that he's going to be facing. He's going to be facing a defense that's much, much worse. So I don't expect Josh Allen to throw 3 interceptions. They'll be fumbling the ball, but there is going to be pressure on Josh Allen. So one of my keys for defense is keep Josh Allen in the pocket. Don't let the man scramble because he does a lot of good things with his legs. He's a big quarterback. He does get upfield really well. But if he does get upfield, he does run the ball, you got to punish him. You got to hit him. You got to hit him hard. Make him think twice before he takes that ball and tucks it and runs. But you got to keep it in the pocket, but you still got to get the pressure. You just can't do a mush rush and kind of just keep him there and let him throw the ball everywhere because he does still have some really good receivers like Stephon Diggs and stuff. Dawson Knox, the tight end. So don't let him get outside the tackles and run. Still put pressure on him, bottle him up, collapse that pocket around him. And you'll get those hands in his face. You don't know. Like it's, he can definitely be had. He looked a little bit shell-shocked last week. I expect a very angry Buffalo Bills team this week, which doesn't bode well for the Raiders. But, you play the game. The Raiders were, like I said, we're in West Virginia all week practicing, so the time change shouldn't be a big deal. I must have bit my cheek 3 or 4 times now. Because of the mask is squeezing my face like this, so I'm not used to talking, so I'm biting my cheek and it's pissing me off. But another offensive key, a huge offensive key, with Jacoby Myers being out this week, we need Hunter Renfrow to step up. Hunter Renfrow needs to step up. They need to look for Hunter Renfrow and get him the ball. I mean, he's done so well for the Raiders in past seasons. He did well last year when he came back from injury. There's no reason why they shouldn't be looking his way. Get him the ball. I expect DeAndre Carter to get a bunch more snaps now that Jacoby Myers is out. So I figure you have Hunter Renfrow step up in the Jacoby Myers spot. Then you'd have DeAndre Carter step into Hunter Renfro's spot, and maybe we'll see a little bit of Trey Tucker this week. He was kind of funny. He was my out-of-the-box sports entertainment rookie to watch last week, and they made him inactive. So he should be playing this week. I don't see why he wouldn't be, especially with the Jacoby Myers injury. And I also like to see the tight ends get a little bit more involved. Like I said, Austin Hooper, 1 catch, 20 yards. Why are we not throwing to the tight ends a little bit more? Look for Hooper. Look for Michael Mayer. I mean, one of our big draft picks that we got lucky to get in the second round there. Use him. He was out there. He didn't look great blocking at some points, but let's use him in the passing game a little bit. See what the big man can do. So yeah, offensively, and also take a chance or two, take a risk, and get it downfield, get it deep to Devontae Adams. I know a couple times. I think one time. I think it was a deep pass where he actually dropped the ball, and but yeah, to take the chance. Devontae's a really good receiver, so if something happens where he is covered, it's a bad pass. Still have faith that either he's going to knock it down or he's going to come back and try to make a play on it. Because I know Jimmy G doesn't have the strongest arm. He doesn't like taking chances down the field, but you have a guy like Devontae Adams, take a chance. Once or twice. It doesn't have to be every series or anything like that. Once or twice in a key situation. Take the chance, like on a 3rd and 1 or something like that. They're expecting a run up the middle because you have Josh Jacobs back there. Or they're expecting a quarterback keeper. Run a play action, just let it go. So let her rip. Dig deep and give her a chuck. Chuck that magic bean down the field. So defensively, we got to make sure we continue to tackle. If Josh Allen is getting a high completion percentages, is completing a lot of balls, I meant to say. Make sure that they're not getting a lot of yards after catch. Keep that yak down, tackle them, keep them in front of you, and live to fight another day, another play. Don't let Stephon Diggs beat you. Don't let him get set up. Don't let him get behind our secondary. You got to bottle him up. He had a huge game last week. 10 catches. I think it was 102 yards. So he did really well. Oh, I got the stats actually written down here. So Josh Allen's last week, 29 of 41. They threw the ball a lot. It was a very close game. The Bills were ahead a good bit, especially after Rodgers got hurt. But the Jets were able to come back and take it in overtime on that punt return, which was an awesome play. 236, 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions, a fumble lost, 2 fumbles, 1 lost. Stephon Diggs, 10 catches, 102 yards, 1 touchdown. So a huge game from him. Yeah, he's got to shut him down or at least bottle him up a little bit. James Cook, 12 carries, 46 yards. So they didn't run the ball a whole lot, but James Cook did do all right running the ball. I think they averaged about 4 yards a carry, I think I read, or 3.5 or something. Dawson Knox, 3 catches, 25 yards. And Leonard Floyd on defense, is a guy you got to watch, putting pressure on Jimmy G, a sack and a half. He had a pretty good game last week. So those are my keys to victory against the Bills. What to watch for, kind of what to pay attention to. Jason Feinlaw, player to watch, defensive player to watch. For me, this week is Marcus Peters, the newest one of the new Raiders. To see what he can do when he's defending Stephon Diggs. The Raiders aren't a type of team that will take their best corner and keep them on your best receiver the whole game. They keep them in their positions normally, and that's who they're defending, whoever's lined up across. So, but we'll see if they make an exception, if they let Marcus Peters or somebody like that follow Stephon Diggs around to give him a hard time. But yeah, let's watch Marcus Peters this week and see what he can do. See if he makes any big plays and kind of recaptures his old form. The Dugout Mugs offensive player to watch, who I talked about a little bit just a couple minutes ago, Hunter Renfrow. Hopefully he gets involved, makes some plays. 3rd and Renfrow was so huge for us 2 years ago. For Derek Carr, and to get him back involved in some of that, letting him make plays across the middle or letting him improvise is huge. Let him do his thing. So Hunter Renfrow is the offensive player to watch. Hopefully he has a great game. And the out-of-the-box sports entertainment rookie to watch is Tyree Wilson. Like I mentioned earlier, had not a very good first game. Hopefully he turns around. He's another guy didn't have a preseason due to injury. We're still recovering from an injury. So hopefully he comes out here, has a big game, or at least steps up a little bit, becomes somewhat serviceable. He doesn't look like a goof out there. And let's see why he was our first round pick. So prediction for the game. I made all my predictions last week because as I went through the season. So I reached back into the vault here and I checked my notes and I had the Raiders losing to Buffalo 31-17. So of course, Raiders till I die. But to be down the middle, I'm going to say Buffalo wins 31-17. But then go ahead and take that off of there. Being Raider fan, I want the Raiders to win. I think the Raiders are going to win. I'm thinking it's going to be not a low-scoring game, but close, 28-20. It's going to come down to the end. That's me being partial Raider fan, 28-20 Raiders. Me being impartial podcaster, professional podcaster, wearing a Batman mask, trying to make sense of everything. Bills win 31-17. So that's what I got. I'm going to do our show read. I'm going to get the hell out of here and get ready for our concert that we're going to later on, and we're going to have fun tonight. So the out-of-the-box show schedule, let me get that banner off of there so that doesn't look like shit. Goodbye, banner. Mondays, for all you gamers out there, check out the Joystick Junkies at 4:30 p.m. You have the Sully Squad talking Philly sports at 6 p.m. And at 8:30 p.m., for all you New York Giants fan, you have the Big Blue Power Hour. Then Tuesdays at 6:30 for all you Washington Commanders fan, you have Commanders Gridiron. And then at 8:30 p.m. for all you Major League Baseball fans, there is still a baseball season going on as we're creeping up on the playoffs. You have extra innings at 8:30 p.m. Then Wednesdays, you have myself. I'll be back at my normal time next Wednesday, 10 a.m. with the Batcave talking New York Mets baseball. 7 p.m., Fuji's Philly Flair should be returning very soon, talking Philadelphia sports and entertainment. And then 8:05 on Wednesdays, the College Football Frenzy, talking college football. And 9:30 p.m., all you Cowboy fans, check out Dem 215 Boys. Thursdays, the NFC East table. As you can see there, we have Cowboys, Giants, Eagles, and Washington representatives debating with each other and talking about their teams the previous week and a week ahead. At 7 p.m. on Thursdays, and you turn your clock ahead to Fridays. Normally, 10:30 p.m., you'll have the Atomic Drop podcast. Wasn't on yesterday. I was at Hershey Park. Next Friday, I work, so stay tuned. We'll figure it out. Saturdays, earlier today, at 11 a.m., you had the Golden Dome podcast for Notre Dame pregame. He'll be back on tonight at 7 p.m. doing the postgame. And then still moving around, jockeying times here, the Silver and Black Lair. Last week I did 9 p.m. This week I did 1:30 p.m. So I'm still jockeying around to find out what's a good time. Next week with me working, my daughter also has a softball tournament. I'm looking probably at 7 or 8 o'clock, but as it gets closer, I'll let everybody know so Adam Glenn knows what time it actually starts. And then once a month, of course, we have the Old School Show, and that'll be on a Thursday at 8:30 p.m. once that does come on. So great lineup there. We got something for everybody. A lot of fun. Make sure you check it all out. We have a couple more comments here before I duck out and get this mask off because my face is sweating and I bit my cheek again. Dave Yarnell says, I picked the Raiders this weekend, 24-21, silver and black. Atta boy. And Adam Glenn says, have a great time tonight. Thank you, buddy. We will. It will be fun. And thanks for checking the show out. Thank you, everybody, again, for commenting, checking the show out. I appreciate it very much. I come up here in the next couple of weeks. I'll also be talking LA Kings hockey. So we'll be going from pigskin to puck as the hockey season is just right around the corner in October here. So it's going to be a lot of fun. A lot of expecting the Kings to have a really, really good season. So, all right. Thanks for checking it out, and I will see you next week. Check me out on Wednesday, the Bat Cave. Peace. I hit the wrong one. I'm still here, everybody. Where is it at? There it is.